Hey guys, how y'all doing today? Uh, I decided to do a last minute stream. I got home from a nice dinner with my fiance and some of her friends. When I got home, I decided why not stream for a little while. Um, I don't really have anything super planned to do, but uh, I figured that we could start out with watching a little bit of the the best knockouts from UFC this year. I've seen a lot of the UFC fights this year, but there's definitely some that I haven't seen. So there's a good chance that uh, I'm gonna be watching some that I haven't seen. But it's always fun to rewatch some of them. They always are exciting and entertaining to watch. So I figured we could start out with one of them. This first one's with Oliveira, Charles Oliveira. And in the pre-fights, Charles and Ilya were talking, and Ilya told him that he was like, "I hate that you have to be the one that I fight," because he knew what was coming, but he, I mean, everybody respects Charles. That was weird. I may need to figure something else out to watch, I guess. I keep getting warnings popped up on my screen. We can watch some good football hits. Oh, helmet to helmet.
It's everything you're
Mm.
not supposed to do. Everything. You'll see this in slow motion. And Aziz Al-Shire
I
has
mean,
been
he wasn't
very
even trying to let
accurate
up.
in this situation. It's reckless. It's disrespectful. Here's a third and long. Oh, my goodness. Juju's laying
don't understand.
On the morning of January 19th, 2023, a Chatham County officer tried to stop a white Nissan Murano from a broken rear window on Canebrake Road. Instead of pulling over, the driver sped off, cutting through a private yard, circling the house, and jumping back onto the road. Trooper Cadet Newsall and his FTO were nearby when they heard the call. Moments later, they spotted the same Nissan heading north on Norman 25. They activated their lights and sirens, but the driver hit the gas again. Pursuit was on.
It's in a pretty, it's in a pretty good, populated area. Oh, he's going for the pit. Hit him. Oh! Oh! Oh my gosh. What was really bad was his, it looked like he landed. Oh. I guess play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That dude had so much stuff in the back trunk of his car, though. Spare tires sitting there just flapping.
The Nissan was upside down in the median. Its driver, Amy Humans Paget, had been ejected during the rollover. She wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Her body came to rest in the left lane, unconscious, severely injured. The troopers rushed in. She still had a pulse and was breathing, but her injuries were bad. Out of caution, they didn't move her. Paramedics arrived within minutes and began treatment on the scene. She was rushed to the hospital, but didn't make it.
Wow.
February 1st, 2024, the deputy with
Oh.
the Marion County Sheriff's Office responded to a report at the Forest Shopping Center. According to the call, a woman was trying to steal another woman's car keys, but when the deputy arrived, it was she who came running up, calm, composed, acting like she was the one who had called for help. She even approached his patrol car like she was ready to give a statement, but what happened next caught everyone off guard.
She stole his police cruiser.
In an instant, the woman jumped through the open passenger side window of the patrol car. Before the deputy could react, she slammed the car into gear and took off. Stop sticks were deployed ahead to end the chase. When she spotted the waiting patrol cars and pulled a sharp last-second U-turn, nearly flipping the car in the process.
Oh. What's stupid is they have trackers on these police cars. Oh. Oh, 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 oh.
Flying down the highway at over 100 miles per hour. And there's a semi-truck on the shoulder. She lost control, stole the control arm, and caught her behind and slammed full force into a pickup truck carrying innocent people.
Those poor people in that truck.
The impact was catastrophic. She died instantly, but worse, two innocent lives were stolen in that moment of chaos.
Mm.
It had nothing to do with the chase. People just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. On the day after Christmas, most folks were chilling with leftovers and newly pajama pants. One guy in Michigan decided it was the perfect time to run from the cops in a red Chevy Cruze. It was December 26, 2023, and one police officer was patrolling the streets when they noticed a red 2015 Chevy Cruze commit a traffic violation.
I think that I may do some more tier list. I enjoyed doing them the other day. Why does my camera keep cutting out on me? Oh. Let's see. What would be a good one? Oh, let's do some NFL logos. Being opening day of college football. Alrighty. Let's start from the bottom. We'll start with the Washington Commanders. I think it's kind of plain. I don't really like the color scheme of it. I think that the brown and yellows is kind of bland. I think that they could have done a lot more for it. I think it's actually one of the worst in my opinion. I'm not a fan of the color scheme. I think that they really could have done a better job. The Titans. I do like it. I think it's definitely a pretty good one. I think the flames coming off the back end of it. I think the Oilers logo was actually, before they became the Titans, I think that it was a better logo in my opinion. But I do think that the Titans logo is pretty good. Buccaneers. Hmm. Same. I think the Bucks logo is pretty good. I think it's pretty unique. It uses one of the pirate swords that has a pirate flag hooked into it. But I also kind of like how the logo, how it has a football where the skull is. Uh, Instead of crossbones, they got the two long swords. I think that it's pretty unique on itself. So I think it's a nice one. The 49ers, I think it's pretty bland, but it does have it is pretty historic. They haven't really changed too much over the years, but I do think that uh, I think it's better than the Commanders, but it's definitely a little plain. Um, Same with the Giants. I think the Giants is pretty plain. The the font they use is pretty nice, but I think it's pretty plain. The Seahawks. I think it's cool. Color scheme's really good. Uh, when they did their color rush uniforms, they were all right. A little bright in my opinion, but I mean that was the point. So I think that like it is what it is. Like I think that for what it's worth, it was a they're the colors they picked out for it. I think are pretty good. Um, the Steelers, I think it's a good logo. Uh, I think that I mean it's been around for decades. With one of the most historic football teams ever. I think that it's just a real staple of NFL. Uh, let's see, the Eagles. I think that the Eagles logo is under the Seahawks, in my opinion. Um, I definitely like the Eagles more than I like the Seahawks, but logo wise, I think the the Seahawks color scheme makes the logo a little more. Plus, it's a little bit. I just like the style of the Seahawks a little bit more than I do the Eagles. The Jets. I don't really like the Jets logo. I think that its color scheme's all right. I think it's definitely better than the Commanders. The font style's pretty good, but I think it's just a little bland. Like it's a green football with Jets in it. I mean, it's nothing special. The Saints. I like the Saints. I like the I like the logo. I mean, the Florida Lee. I mean, it's just it fits them perfect for New Orleans. I don't think they could have chose really a better base logo. I think that there's more they could have added to it, but I think having the Florida Lee in their colors, I mean, it fits. Um, the Patriots, in my opinion, the logo is kind of similar to the Titans, but just not as good. I think that uh, making it, American style, like a Patriot from the American Revolution, I think that it fits them really well, and I think it's a good logo, but definitely a little bit below the Titans, in my opinion. The same kind of flair from it, I kind of like it, but I think the Titans did it better. Um, the Vikings, though, I think I really enjoy the Vikings logo. It's real basic, but uh, I think they did a good job designing it, in my opinion. Uh, and then their color scheme fits right into it. Definitely recognizable. Like if you look at it, you know that it's a Viking, and a lot of people, have trouble deciphering the mascot or the like what the team's called. So whether or not they know they're from Minnesota or not, I mean, you can look at it and know that they're the Vikings. So I think uh, that's good. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Um, but uh, like I was saying, I think that they did it right. The Dolphins, I like the Dolphins logo. Uh, the color scheme's good in it. I think they did a good job designing with the sun in the background and the dolphin, just to show that, I mean, they're in Miami, so Miami's hot, and I think it's uh, they picked a good logo for them. I don't think it's better than some of the others, but I do think that they did a good job designing it for Miami. Uh, the Raiders. I think it's on the level of the Bucks. Even though the Bucks do have uh, the the flag and sword, I do think, and maybe I'm just biased because I've kind of always had liked the Raiders a little bit. I've never been much of an NFL fan. I like college football more. Um, I think the NFL just doesn't have that hometown feeling. Like there's not as many NFL teams in the country, uh, so I think that it makes it a lot distant. Uh, like there's some regions that doesn't even have NFL teams within like a 300 200 mile radius. So I think that it just makes it a little bit more disconnected from the people. Like with college football, you have a lot of colleges in every state that can make it a little bit more meaningful for them. And a lot of people go to those colleges, and they cheer for them forever, whether they're good or bad. You do have bandwagoners on some sides, but I think that uh, college is just more. It just has more of that feel to it. Um, but I do like the Raiders, and whenever I played Madden, uh, some of the times I choose the Raiders as like my team, and I've just always kind of liked them. I think that their logo is pretty unique. The Rams. Okay, this is gonna be my first S tier. I really like the Rams logo. I like their colors. I think that when they went from St. Louis to L.A., I think that they did it right. I do. I think that they chose a really really nice logo. I think it fits really well. It's real crisp. Uh, I don't think they could have done any better, in my opinion. Uh, the Chargers. I do like the Chargers. It's real, real simple, but I think they did the simple right. I think that there's a lot that could have been done different for it, but I don't think that they could have done too much work or too much better. I think that they really kind of did a great job at what they did. I think it goes on the helmet real nice, the shoulders real nice. I think that it's just a real nice one. Um, KC, the Chiefs. logo, in my opinion, is just, I mean, it's simple and it's a little too simple. The arrowhead, it's nice. I think the Kansas City, uh, they could have done a little better with it. Uh, I think the simplicity on it just doesn't fit like it does on some of the others. Uh, like with the Rams, like it's simple, but like it's just well rounded. Like the simplicity of it does it for me, but Casey doesn't. I don't think that I don't think that they did it right. The Jags. I mean, it's like the Dolphins. Like they did a good job with it. The colors kind of fit, but it's just they could have done better. The Colts. I mean, it's simple, kind of like the Jags. And actually, I'm gonna put them beside the Jags because I think these two especially, they're simple, but they're historic. Like they're staples. Like when you see the Cowboy star, like it's just like known. Like the Cowboys, like they've been around for so long, and like it's just a staple of the NFL. The Colts, though, like these two, in my opinion, are real similar in simplicity, but like the Colts just don't have that staple in the NFL that the Cowboys have. The Texans. I really like the Texans logo. I do. I think that they really couldn't have done too much better. Um, I'm actually going to put it above Minnesota. I think that uh, Minnesota's is good, of course, but I like the color scheme of Texas. I mean, it's the Lone Star State. They put the flag in there. Um, I think that they really did a good job at incorporating the flag into the logo. Um, the Packers, underrated opinion. I know Packers logo. A lot of people probably enjoy it. I think it's kind of like San Francisco. It's just football shaped with a G in it. I don't know what else to say. The colors are all right, I guess. I'm not a big fan of the color scheme, but it's not terrible, I guess. The Lions, I do like the Lions. I like the Lions logo. I do. The Bengals, or I guess we can stay in order. The Broncos, I think that his their historic value is good. I do think that they did a good job with it. I think I'm going to put it up here next to the Saints a little bit. Um, I think that they did a pretty good job. The Browns, just not a fan of the Browns logo. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It keeps cutting in and out. The Bengals logo. I like it. It's simple, but they did good with its simplicity with the the Bengal tiger stripes going down it. I like their colors. I think that their colors go really well. I think that their white and black helmets that they've done in the past couple of years, I think they've done really well with them. Bears. The Bears logo is good. I think that they it's simple, but I think that the color scheme goes well in the logo. Um, I like the Panthers logo. I like the colors of it. I like the design of it. Um, I think that the Panthers did a good job with their logo. I'm a fan of the Bills. I am. I think that their logo is pretty nice. Actually, I'm gonna put it a little higher. I think that the Bills logo is nice. I like Josh Allen. I think he's a good quarterback. Uh, and their logo, it's just like I mean, they're buffaloes. I mean, you know what it is. The Ravens. I think that the Ravens logo is nice. I think that them having the B in there for Baltimore, I think it fits. The Falcons. I like the Falcons logo. I do. I think it's simple, but I think it stands out. Like it's different than all the other bird logos in it. Uh, I think that it stands out compared to all the other ones. And then the Cardinals, I like it better than the Seahawks in my opinion. But I do think that it is a little bit more simple than the Falcons. I think that the Falcons design does it for me. But I think that the Cardinals, I think that they did a good job with theirs. Okay. What do we want to do now? Let's do another Star Wars one. I enjoyed the Star Wars one. I enjoyed talking about it. Let's check this one out. Oh. I'm gonna make a quick TikTok video. This is going to be hard because a lot of the best Star Wars moments are the fights. You know, of course, you got a lot of really good moments that you know, the storyline moments that are really good. Um, but some of the most intense parts are uh, some of the fight scenes. So ranking these are going to be hard because a lot of them are so good, especially the prequels. In my opinion, I think that the prequels they did a really good job. I think one of the best parts of the prequels are the fight scenes. I think that they're choreographed really well. Uh, and I guess starting out, we'll start with Yoda, and I'm not putting it here, but I'm putting it here just to hold it so I can talk about it. Um, I think that it showcases how strong the Emperor actually is because prior to this, we saw Yoda and Count Dooku fight. And Count Dooku is known for being one of the best duelists in all of Star Wars. Uh, when Anakin chops off his head, you could see the fear in his eyes, and it's because he's never lost. And I think that Yoda going toe to toe with him shows how strong he is. Um, and Yoda's been around for 900 years, so he's fought a lot. Um, so I think him and the Emperor fighting, the top of the Jedi and the top of the Sith fighting. I think that's a real good fight. I think that they did a good job with it. I do think that I'm gonna rank it a B for the sole reason that I think that uh, it was kind of a little slow at some parts. Uh, I think the build up was good. I think uh, when the Emperor tried to leave, and Yoda jumped in front of him and said, "If so powerful you are, why leave?" I think that was cold. I think that shows that he Yoda was willing to do whatever to protect the Jedi Order. Uh, I mean, might as well. We're already here. S tier. You don't get much better than Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. Their fight scene, super fast paced, and like I said in the last stream, that it wasn't sped up or anything. They didn't use stunt doubles. I think that the Mustafar fight, by far, just top tier. The talent that those two showed during it, I think that uh, it did a lot for Star Wars. You could definitely feel the pain in Obi-Wan having to fight him. I mean, whenever he said he had the high ground, it was when he fought Darth Maul. He came from the low ground and beat him. Um, and I think that Obi-Wan has had a lot of experience in fighting, and I think that he knew that Anakin was going to try to pull what Obi-Wan did on Darth Maul. And whenever he said, "I have the high ground," it wasn't tempting him to come, but I think he was trying to tell Anakin that, don't try it. Like when he said "don't try it," I think he was being for real because I think he knew what Anakin was about to do, and he knew exactly what to do to counter it. I do think that that he, um, you know, that there's one thing that Jedi aren't allowed to do, and I can actually pull it up. Um, there is a um, there is a uh, un uh, an unposted clip that they were gonna put in with not Darth Maul, Mace Windu versus Jango Fett. So this is the original idea that they were. It's one of the deleted scenes that they did, and they took it out because of how brutal it was. And Jedi's are supposed to be like, they're supposed to have like compassion, and they're not supposed to be over. They're not supposed to kill overly, if that makes sense. So if you saw, he cut his gun, cut his arm off, cut his leg, and then cut his head off. In the actual scene that they posted in the movie, they just cut off his gun to cut off his head because it was quick. You're not supposed to make the Jedi aren't supposed to cause any suffering, and this caused an extended death, which was unnecessary. So they ended up cutting it out. And I think that whenever Obi-Wan was fighting Anakin, them adding it in where he cut off his good arm and both of his legs. I mean, he completely disabled him. The only arm he left was the arm they already had cut off previously. So that ended up having 4 limbs, all 4 limbs cut off. Darth Vader, Kanan Jarrus. I don't really want to rank any of. I don't think that. I think that all of the cartoon. I think I'm gonna leave them out because I don't. I don't really want to have them in there. I would rather just do the movies because I think that ranking the cartoons with the movies, I think that doing the original 3 sagas, I think that those would be the best to rank. Um, so we'll move on to Yoda and Dooku. I think that it was a really good fight scene. I do. I think that Yoda and Dooku, they ended up having a real intense fight, but I think it ended too quick because Dooku got. I want to say he got scared. Yoda was the one who trained Count Dooku, and I think that it intimidated Dooku fighting him because he quickly, after only a few seconds of fighting, decided to get Yoda to stop fighting him so he could escape. Because I think he was intimidated. Hard take. It's the first fight. It did a lot for Star Wars. Actually, yeah. I think that Obi-Wan turning into a Force ghost, I think that it was very meaningful. I think that, being the time period that it was created, they could only do so much. They couldn't do all the extra fighting. The lightsabers that they used weren't the top quality for fighting. And you could tell it's a very, stiff actions. Actually, I'm going to drop it down under Yoda. I think that Mace Windu and Palpatine had a good fight. I do, but I do think that Kit Fisto. I was just talking about this the other day with somebody. I've done drawing a blank on the other two. I know their names, but I think that they ended really quick, which is supposed to show the power of Sidious, but they're 3 Jedi Masters. Like, they should have put up a little bit of a fight against him. I think that Mace Windu was a little... he knew that Palpatine was going to do anything he could to convince Anakin, but Anakin wasn't completely in the wrong saying that, it's not the Jedi way. Like, he must stand trial. Like, I think that he wasn't in the wrong for it. I think that there was a little bit... I think that there... Like, I understand Anakin's point of view in it. Because, he did care about Palpatine. And, I think it did hurt him that he was the Sith Lord. But I think that the fight between them was good. I think that it could have been better. There was also, while we're talking about deleted scenes, there was also an undeleted scene. This is what it was supposed to be. If they would have actually had that fight scene in place of this fight scene, it would have been up here with Mustafar. I think it would have made the fight so much better. I think that the fight was just a little slow. I think that the lightsaber skills just weren't showcased in it, because Palpatine and Mace Windu would both be top tier fighters. So I think that the duel between them just could have been a lot better. I'm going to put this one above this, the fight between Dooku and Yoda. I think the fight between Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan was good. I think that Anakin, showed his... he showed a little bit of his youngness and immaturity, I guess. I think that if what they did in episode 3 would have been done in episode 2, I think that Dooku wouldn't have stood a chance. I think that Anakin hurrying to try to fight him, I think it was more of him showing immaturity and want for Padme to... I think he was more focused on Padme than anything. When Padme fell out of the clone transporter, I think that he was more worried about going back to get her than anything. So I think he was trying to hurry it a little too much. He didn't show patience. But the fight was pretty good. It showed Anakin's skill for a minute, because you could tell that Anakin knew. You could tell he was getting to be a pretty good fighter, but there was still a lot for him to learn. Obi-Wan, of course, he's a skilled duelist himself. General Grievous. I think I'm going to put it down here, actually. Not F. I'm going to put it on D level. I think that there was so much potential. So much potential for General Grievous. Because I mean, he like him having as many lightsabers as he did, it's because he killed other Jedi. I mean, he was an assassin. Like that dude was meant to kill. 4 arms, trained in the Jedi arts. Like he had so much potential, and the lightsaber part of it just didn't last long. It was more of like fist fighting than anything. Uh, I think it was just a little bit, underwhelming. I think that there was a lot that could have been done different. I don't know if there's much to say. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it like that because I think Finn's part of it was a little bit better than Ray's. Not saying Ray didn't do a good job for not being trained. Uh, I think that, like I said in the last episode, I think I would have liked to see Finn because I think that having a clone, or I say clone, a stormtrooper become force sensitive or is force sensitive, becoming a Jedi, I think that would have been a cooler storyline than just a scavenger becoming a Jedi. Um, but I mean, they were both, not trained in it, so I think that it was just kind of it was all right. Kylo Ren did, that he was cool. I think that it showed off a lot of his fighting style. That was the first movie that we got to see the broadsword lightsaber with the hilt. So I mean, it was pretty good. I think that Luke and Darth Vader's was a really good fight. Um, I think that they did a good job with it. I think that after the fact, when Luke beat Darth Vader, you could see after he cut his hand off, I think he saw the similarity between him and his hand being cut off. He was like you could tell that he was a little sad about it. I mean, it was one of the it's the original fight, the ending fight. Like it's a big deal. Um, I think that this fight, while quick, I think it showed how skilled both Qui Gon and Darth Maul was. I think it was a good little preview of the final the Duel of the Fates. I think that it was a good preview for it. It showed off both of their talent in a very quick manner. And I think moving on to the Duel of the Fates, I think it was a good one. Darth Maul having a double blade, I mean, when that happened, it changed Star Wars forever. Because now you have Kylo Ren with the hilt. You got the woman master in the acolyte with the whip lightsaber. You have all these other ones in in the acolyte. You have the guy that has the disconnecting lightsaber with one of the little lightsabers as a dagger. And I think it just did a lot. I mean, of course, I wish that Qui-Gon would have lasted a little bit longer, but it set into motion the downfall of Anakin, because I feel, in my opinion, that if Qui-Gon stayed alive, Anakin wouldn't have had his downfall. I think that Qui-Gon would have grounded him. I think that Obi-Wan being more of a similar age to Anakin made him not necessarily see him as a father figure as much as he did as a brother. I think that if he had that father figure in his life, he wouldn't have had as strong of a downfall. I think he'd have been able to. I think Qui Gon would have grounded him a little bit better, in my opinion. Kylo Ren and Luke. I think that it was awesome that they showed off how much power Luke had. Like I was saying, I didn't really like Luke, or as I was saying in the last stream, I didn't really like Luke as or in the sequels as much. I think that they kind of made his character into something like into a character that was different and that he should have been. But I do like how they showed off his strength because, like I was saying last stream, Luke would have been the most powerful Jedi to ever live during this time, and them showing him force projecting from galaxies over just shows how strong he was. So I think that that was really cool. I think that the ground when they were running, it made it look like blood on the ground, and I think that was pretty cool. Uh, so I think they did an all right job with it. I think it was a good fight. I really liked Anakin and Obi-Wan's second fight with Count Dooku. It showed Anakin's more that he was more patient. It showed how much he had grown in between episodes 2 and 3. I think that of course, the Clone Wars shows his progression, but I do think that he had gotten a lot stronger, and I think you could kind of see him starting to surpass Obi-Wan in some ways, strength-wise, in dueling. I think that a lot of it is, they say that Sith are so strong because of their hatred, and you could see Anakin's weakness for his hatred in his fights. But I do think that that it was a really good fight. It showed, excuse me. It showed his strength. It showed Count Dooku's strength, of course, too. Like I said, Count Dooku was just a really, really good fighter. And then The Empire Strikes Back, the final fight between Luke and Darth Vader. I think that their fight was good. I think that it was when Luke found out that Darth Vader was his father. I think the fight scene was pretty good. Luke being less trained than he was in the Return of the Jedi, but I do think that the fight scene was good for what it was, good for the time period. I think that they did a really good job in portraying that. I don't think there's more of an iconic phrase than Luke and Darth Vader's final phrase when he says, "No, I am your father," which is funny because there's a Mandela effect that you grow up thinking it's Luke, I am your father, when it's actually no, I am your father. But I think that it being as iconic as it is, it makes it so much more meaningful. But I feel like that's a pretty good tier list. It's hard to rank them because there a lot of them are really good. Some of them are just better than others. Hold on 1 second. Oh. What Minecraft ones are there? Some mobs. Ooh, I think that'd be fun. Alex. Steve. You don't get any. Oh, sorry. I put Alex here and Steve here. I don't think that you get any better than Steve. He's iconic. Alex, they added her in there, and it's just kind of dropped it. Actually, I think I'm just gonna stop here. I just kind of did a little quick stream. Um, it was last minute, uh, so I didn't really have anything planned. But I think I'm gonna cut it here.